Cheers to my sisters today. Two lovely sisters. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day, what is day 22, 20, no, 21, day 21 of Get Out of the Rat Race RUT. I couldn't see my calendar on my little computer screen. It's day 21 of Get Out of the Rat Race RUT. I'm Beth Campbell. I'm a career coach and mentor. I really consider myself kind of now more of a mindset coach, but focusing on the career challenged. I'm a former corporate captive, now helping you find your work wonderland. If you need somebody to guide you one-on-one through a career or life challenge, send me a message or go to bethannecampbell.com/coach me. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching live on this early Saturday morning, let me know you're here in the comments. If you're watching the replay, please give me a hashtag replay. And of course, make sure to let me know that you have, if you have any questions or feedback, so I can address it at some point. We're going to talk about networking today, but I'm going to go on. I want to have a little rant before that. It sort of has to do with networking because, a few days ago on the 17th, day 17, I did an episode on gratitude, and one of the big benefits of gratitude is it counters all of the negativity that we have coming at us every day, especially for those of you who are maybe watching this who are in a career or a role or a job or a culture at work that is not ideal. And that's just kind of normal stuff, right? We have to deal with it, and it's hard enough to deal with that. But when people go out of their way to be negative for no reason, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the F word, it fucking pisses me off. And social media, nowhere is this more evident than social media. And social media, as we're going to be talking about networking, is such a great network venue, right? And I've had so much positive experience with social media, but there are some idiot asshats out there. And it just boggles my mind. And I'm not talking about bots. I'm not talking about the people that are, strategically trying to rile people up with with politics. I can't even get it out this morning. I need some coffee. I need the love of my sisters, Allison and Sue. I need the strength of you right now. So I try not to get into the comments on social media. And I happened to this morning. I was just waiting for the dog to poop, waiting for this show, and I follow this photographer. She formerly out of Mississippi, she's now in Georgia. She's this young woman, and she's a mom, and she does this baby photography. If any of you are familiar with Ann Getty's, kind of that type of stuff, and it's just cute and beautiful. I mean, it's babies, and she takes pregnant mom photos. And I want to tell you her name is Emily Moncus Photography, Emily, Moncus Photography, and I follow her on Instagram and Facebook as well. And that's what happens. It comes up in my feed in Facebook, right? So I'm not actively looking. I'm just, seeing what my friends are saying and responding. And I see this post from her where she's swaddling this cute little baby. They bundle him up and they put him in like a little basket or a little bed. And she just does a phenomenal job, and she does these great videos. And the hate that this woman gets is unfucking believable. Like, and I look at these profiles of the people that are making these comments. They if she swaddles a baby, she's going to get tons of negative comments. I mean, literally, she's swaddling this thing for probably 20 minutes to take a photo, right? And there's a lot of you may not know this, there's a lot of anti-swaddlers out there. To each their own. Live your life and leave others alone. But she gets a lot of hate about, she speeds her videos up because they're long, and people go, "Oh, you're shaking the baby," and "Oh my God, that's horrible what you're doing to the baby." And then her voice, so she gets very animated, and she's got kind of a high pitched voice when she gets excited. The people that come out and just say your voice is so ugly, and it's mostly for this woman. It's mostly middle-aged or old women. I expect you to do better. I expect you're the gatekeepers of society. Even though men have used their physicalness to dominate for so many eons, we know that testosterone makes you lose fear and sensibility, right? And so we have been the gatekeepers, the wind beneath the wings for forever. I hold you to a higher standard when it comes to this kind of shit. And this is why I have to work so hard on the negativity, because as we talked about with gratitude, we are naturally biased towards negativity. And I, as a person, as a sarcastic, snarky, sweary person, even more so. So I have to work really, really hard. And I don't like bullies. I don't like bullies, and I don't understand what is so hard for people. When I see something comes up in my feed about, a Dorito toddler Trump, I just scroll on because I don't want to see it, right? I know how to use the internet. Anyway, I'm so sorry that I'm ranting. So I probably should put something at the beginning of this and say, scroll, 5 minutes into this and you'll get to the actual content. But I just want to reiterate, because we're talking about networking today, that there are some, downsides to social media networking. But this is why it's so important for us to really pay attention to what we are letting into our lives and the negativity, and keeping that confident, calm, responsive kind of nature, which I don't always do because, again, I hate bullies. But anyway, enough about my rant about women making horrible comments on a photographer's site. I just don't get it. And I will just say, by the way, if you're one of those people that does that, you just make it more popular. So whatever you hate and you put your comments about, the algorithms love that, and they make it more popular, and it's probably going to come up in your feed again. So if you don't like something, just keep scrolling. Otherwise, it's going to show up again. Anyway, this is not a session about how to use the internet, which clearly so many people do not know how to do. We're going to talk today about networking and how this can be such a powerful tool in your career fulfillment. Okay, so what is networking exactly? Simply put, it is connecting with people, building relationships, usually for the purpose of something. Excuse me. I drank my coffee too fast. Got myself riled up, and now I got all these air bubbles in my stomach. So often networking is talked about and used around our career. Although I will say, I think, because I speak to people that are mostly in traditional jobs, professional jobs, I think sometimes we don't think about networking in the same way that people that are not in traditional jobs, maybe business owners and entrepreneurs do, or we take it for granted because we've already sort of have that local, right? You have your office network, but it is really important to expand out of just the people that you know in your office as part of your career network. And we'll talk about that in a few minutes. So networking can be done in person or virtually. And certainly since COVID, virtual has just exploded. And a lot of times when we talk about our network, we might mean our online network. So it can be your coworkers if you have an online network, your coworkers if you work remotely ever, or even part-time. It can be your social media connections on multiple platforms. It can be people with whom you have an email communication or direct messaging or chat or texting. Those can all be online networking venues. It can be people who are in a networking group with you where you have periodic calls about something. So I belong to several online networking groups that are specifically for networking. And your network is also the people that you know in person, right? So again, your coworkers, the ones that you interact with in the office. It could be an in-person group or club that you belong to, like someplace you have a membership to. Even somebody in the gym could be part of your network if there was a purpose. Your in-person network might include your family or your friends or your acquaintances, and even sometimes random people that you run into on a regular basis. That's why I always like to be prepared with a card, and a digital card, and a paper printed card. So like the barista at your local coffee shop could be part of your network, depending on what you need and what you use your network for. So a lot of different ways, inline and in person, a lot of different places where you might pull in people into your network. So having a strong network in the context of your career, especially but not exclusively like a professional career, can be very beneficial and even critical. Why? Well, first of all, we're human. We evolved in social structures. We need the support of other humans, and work is no different. And network can provide this. And I mean, yeah, different strokes, right? Not everybody needs 500 BFFs. Some people, are good with just a small number, but we all need someone. I really believe that. I believe that we all need someone. And it's good for our mental health to have a social unit of some sort. Our network also gives us feedback, so we can evaluate how we think and act and create and how we make decisions about our career. And we give and we get ideas and advice and insight. A network can be super helpful if we're looking for a job or need something otherwise. Somebody in your network might even have a job for you. So in my professional 23-year corporate career, I started a new job or a significant new role 5 different times. And every single one of those, all 5, came about through networking, not through, some job posting. Especially, again, professionals, statistics say your network is going to be super helpful for finding your next opportunity. And our network can give us credibility when we're looking for a job, right? So just sometimes by association, we can attract opportunities, or people in your network might give you like written testimonials because they've worked with you before. I've done that for people, and I've gotten that from people out on my LinkedIn profile. Our network can also provide career mentors, like people that we can emulate, that we admire, and who have qualities that we maybe want to emulate. So that's a great advantage of having some people in your network. And if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, your network can provide you clients, either directly or indirectly, like through recommendations and such. So there are just so many benefits of having a strong, thoughtful network, especially when it comes to your career. Thoughtful, quality over quantity. So what are some ways we can improve our network for our career? Well, social media, in spite of my rant at the beginning of this, it is actually a great way to find people and add value to your network, and people that you can provide value for. For professionals, LinkedIn is still the top platform, 100%. And as far as per my previous rant, the comments tend to be, relatively speaking, much nicer. There are trolls, there are bots, and there are people that get political and you get in fights, but it's compared to things like Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, it's pretty rare. So LinkedIn is my go-to for career type networking. You can use hashtags, you can use keywords to search for profiles. You can reach out to people in private messages. Don't just like or follow, right? Interact with people. The power of comments and the power of conversations. My friend Heidi Medina is like an expert. I know I talk about Heidi a lot, but she is an expert at conversation, bringing in her case, she works with primarily business owners, but as a professional, the power of comments in networking is very highly, touted as really powerful. So if you're just out there liking and following, that's fine, but put in a comment every now and then. You would be surprised at how many people that you will get that will come wanting to connect with you if you do a good comment here and there. I can speak from experience. Okay, what else? You can attend networking events, and there are tons out there. Most of them are easy peasy. In fact, my friend Heidi has one monthly that is just like my favorite. And they're both online and in-person events everywhere. Ask about networking. If you have one at like a local Facebook group or a page for your locality, or if you're on Nextdoor, if you can stomach it. I can't stomach Nextdoor, so I don't go on Nextdoor. But I have a couple of local groups here in my Central Virginia area. And you can ask about networking and if there are any local groups that you could be a part of. In fact, I created my own local networking group. It was for personal reasons because I just wanted some friends. But I just didn't know anybody, and I went out and I asked the group, hey, are there any groups out there for women in their middle years who just want to, have some companionship? And there wasn't one. So I created one and ended up making a couple of friends there. So, you can search LinkedIn or even just search for online events. And the more you interact with people in your desired category or role, the more events you're going to hear about, you'll get invited to. It's just like a great cascading event. And you can search event platforms like meetup.com or eventbrite.com, and you'll find lots of stuff out there. You can look for networking opportunities in existing groups that you might have some affiliation with, like a university alumni association, or maybe an engineering professional group if you're an engineer, or local government agencies, that kind of thing. And then conferences or summits, also a great way to network. Again, those could be virtual or in person. And I've met great people at huge in-person conferences, and I've made amazing contacts at little small virtual summits like for leadership or DEI. So a lot of opportunities there. You just have to, the more you expand, that's the glory of the network. The more you expand, the more opportunities that you get. And then finally, you can ask your existing network for suggestions. And honestly, I found a lot of opportunities just from recommendations or invites from my existing social network. So again, tons of ways to improve your network. And with all of them, the key is meaningful relationships. Like follow up with people, get their card, get their info, exchange phone numbers, make a coffee date, comment on their stuff, right? It's not just about, okay, now I have you. I'm not just collecting people. And then don't forget to be a great network member for others. So one of the best ways to increase the ideas, invitations and opportunities, advice, etc. from your network is to give all of those out. Yes, remember, Beth Campbell believes that you get back what you put out. So you reap what you sow. If you plant the network seed, but you don't water it or give it sunlight, it's just a dead seed in the ground. So nurture those people, give freely, and you'll get back so many valuable gifts in return. I mean, just, it's amazing. And you might just make some close friends in the process. So I have several people in my online network whom I've never met in person, Miss Heidi being one of them that I've talked about. I consider them close friends. Like we support each other in a lot of ways, not just around career or business. So the benefits of a strong network for your career or just life are just immense. So try it. Even if you think you have a network because you're in a job and you've got a community, that's great. That is a great network. But if you lose your job or you quit your job or you want out of your job, you may have to look outside of that circle. And so start now in building it, and you'll find so many other benefits to it as well. So sometimes when you're reaching out to somebody new to build your network, it can be uncomfortable. It is. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. So guess what? Tomorrow, we're going to talk about discomfort and failure and why they are so misunderstood and so integral, depending on where you are, to your business success. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've talked a lot about discomfort and failure, and it's so important. So I think it's going to be a really good topic. I hope some of you, if you're not here live, you catch the replay, because it's one of those top 5 things, right? Like, is this something that's really, I'm just not, what is it that they say? Like on the other side of fear, like discomfort. I said discomfort is the gateway to growth. So we're going to talk about discomfort. All right. I don't see any comments. So don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn or Facebook if you've not already. And thank you so much for watching Get Out of the Rat Race Rut. You're here because you are a badass. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And please, ladies, no bad comments on photographers. It's just not worth it. I'll see you all tomorrow.